Are you a certified coach who fell in love with the world of personal development and who still has a full time job? And maybe lately you've started feeling this nudge, this pull, this calling to do something different with your life, to become a coach full time and to leave your 9 to 5 corporate job. If you felt this nudge, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I don't even need to explain it to you. It's this feeling where you're thinking about it all the time, you're daydreaming about it. Maybe you're imagining yourself coaching groups, speaking on stages, changing people's lives. If you know this feeling, you know this feeling. But maybe you're at a point in your life where leaving your safe and steady job is just not an option, like it is for a lot of people out there. And you feel that it's almost like you need to choose. You either keep and stay in the safe job, or you follow your dream of becoming a full time coach or teacher or speaker. And in today's video, I want to show you how doing both at the same time is actually possible. Not only is it possible, it's actually advisable. Advice that I didn't get when I started my business. You see, when I started my own business, I left my 15-year career to follow my dream. And honestly, I always say that I have no regrets about how things happened because I believe that everything happens for a reason. But now, 5, 6 years down the line, as I look back to the time that I decided to leave my job and what I did before and what I did after, I realized that there are some things that I could have done better. And one of them is to start my business while I still had a full time job. You see, you can still get your steady income and still be committed to your full time job and start building your coaching business on the side to start bringing you in some money. And maybe eventually, as you start growing this business on the side, with just a few hours of focused and strategic work hours every week on this business, maybe one day and eventually you can grow it to the point where you can leave your full time job and run this as your full time business, like I have. So, in today's video, I want to show you that it's not either or, it could be and it is this and that. One of the things I realize you must be feeling is busy. If you have a full time job and with family obligations, commitments, and things and life, basically, maybe you're busy all of the time and you're thinking to yourself, starting a side business is definitely not something that I can add to my already busy schedule and my busy life. And you know what? I agree with you and I believe you. Your life as it is right now does not fit a new business, for sure. But here's the thing. Starting a side business that could eventually grow into a full time business is something that has the potential to completely change your life. And I know you know that. You wouldn't have this dream if you didn't think in your mind that there is a slight possibility in this dream becoming something big, this business actually growing. And in order for this business to grow and to become a reality, certain things need to change first. And those things are things that are 100% within your control. Because here's something I know for sure. Every single goal you have, and this time it's the goal of starting a side business, but every goal that you have wants something from you in return. You want this goal, it wants something from you. You want to get into better shape, this goal wants you to exercise more and quit the chocolates, munchies at night. You want to start waking up earlier every day. This goal wants you to start working on your nighttime routine and getting to bed earlier every night. You want to start a successful side business. This goal also requires certain things from you. And in today's video, I'm going to share with you 4 of these things that you must be willing to give to your side business and to yourself if you actually are serious about becoming a full time coach, becoming a full time teacher or trainer or speaker, or whatever it is you want to build first on the side and maybe eventually as a full time career. The advice I'm sharing with you today is advice that I wish that I got when I first started my business, honestly. And I have to tell you one thing that I truly believe, and I hope that you understand that as well, that nothing changes if nothing changes. If you want to create anything new in your life, like a business, then certain things in your life must change. Certain things in the way that you think, in the way that you behave, in the way that you manage your life must change to fit this dream in your life. So, what is this dream of starting your successful side coaching business? What does it require from you? Number one is to get so much better at your full time job. Yes, you heard that right. Because just because we are deciding to start a side business doesn't mean you get to not show up to work, doesn't mean you get to not commit to work. Please don't be one of these employees who decides to do something on the side and just shows up poorly to their full time job. Now, let me tell you why. Two main reasons. Number one, what does it mean to be better at your job? What does it actually mean? It sounds so vague. What it means to me is to become more efficient, more productive, more creative. And when you become more efficient and productive and creative, guess what? You start completing your work on time. You stop having to work late hours or to bring your work home with you at night or to have to work on some weekends, because now you've become so focused and so efficient that your work hours are more than enough for you to finish your work, leaving you with more time to work on your side business. The second reason why this is important is because you want to leave your company, if you eventually decide to leave them, on a good note. You want to leave them with a good taste in their mouths. You want them to remember you as that competent and capable person. And when you do that, you are building bridges instead of burning them. In the last company where I worked for 6 years, I left them on such a good note before starting my own coaching and training business. And guess who was my first corporate client when I started the business? Yes, exactly. It was them. They were the first people to ever hire me to deliver training to my ex colleagues, to my friends, and the employees that I used to work with. This wouldn't have been possible if I was completely slacking off towards the end, knowing that I wanted to start my business and not really caring about work. Listen, guys, this is karma. You are getting paid to do this job. Do it well, do it efficiently, and then you'll have the time, and I'll show you how, to work on your business on the side. The second thing that your goal requires from you is to get super clear on your vision and your goal for your side business. Because when you say that you want to start a side business, that is so vague and so broad. What does that actually mean to you? When will you know that you've reached this goal? And the only way to know that is to set a goal to begin with, to have a vision, to imagine what this might turn into. All of us humans work so much better when we're working towards something, towards a vision and towards a goal. And those of us humans who are or have worked in the corporate world are no different. We've been working towards goals the whole time. So why would it be any different in your business, even if you're starting small? Creating your goal and your vision is the most important step, because the last thing you want is to be working randomly and on scattered activities because you don't know exactly what you're working towards. And you don't want to get to the end of the month where you've maybe made a little bit of money from your side business, maybe not at all, but you have no idea if this was a good month or a bad month because you have nothing to compare it to. You don't know what you've been working towards. I really recommend you not skip the step. You can't skip the step. Actually, of course, you can skip the step if you want to, but you would just be making your life so much more complicated, and it can be simplified. So even if you are starting super small, even if what your goal is to bring in maybe a few extra $100 every month, those would be nice, wouldn't they? But you need to have that goal in mind so that you can be working towards it and that you can celebrate when you actually achieve it or make the changes you need to make if you don't achieve it. So start with the goal and the vision. The third thing that your goal requires from you is to become a time management guru. I know this is a very tall order, but it's absolutely essential that you become so good at managing and, more importantly, protecting your time. I want you to understand, and you know this for sure, you're not going to magically and suddenly find extra hours every day to work on your dream and to work on the things that actually matter to you. If you don't plan how exactly and when exactly you're going to be working on your business, I promise you, life will get in the way. Life is busy, but you know what? Life is busy for everyone, honestly. But how come some people are able to make things work and to make things happen? I believe it's because they believe in their dream. It's because their dream matters to them. So the question for you is, does your dream matter to you? Do you actually want to make this happen? And if you do, then you need to become so protective of your time. You need to think about who you want to give your time to, what activities you want to start doing with your time. And for some of my favorite time management and productivity tips, I'll refer you to this playlist over here that you can go watch after this one. So now maybe you're wondering, what if I become super efficient at my full-time job and I create a clear vision and goals for my side business and I become so good at managing my time that I start actually carving out the time and finding the time to work on my business? Now what? What do I actually do to start building this coaching business on the side? This is what brings us to the fourth thing that your goal and your dream requires from you. And it's where most coaches make the common mistake of working really hard and of working on random things. And here's something that I've learned the hard way, because this is a mistake I definitely made in the beginning. And what I learned is that scattered activities don't lead to consistent results. And this is what brings us to the fourth thing that your goal needs from you, and that is to work smarter, not harder. What does that mean? That means that before we jump into the execution, before we start using these few hours that we carved out every single week to work on our business, to work on random things, to create content here, to work on some courses here, to talk to some people here, which don't usually lead to any consistent results, before we jump into the execution, to sit back and create a plan and create a strategy to how we want to reach our vision and our goal. Because remember, now we have a very clear vision and goals for our side business, even if we are starting small, like I said earlier. So now from this vision, we can start working backwards. And one of the best resources I can give you for that is a free training that you can download and watch immediately, or it will be delivered to your inbox to watch later on, where I teach you exactly how to work backwards from an income goal or from any kind of goal that you're trying to reach, to create an actual plan and strategy instead of working randomly. So I really recommend you download this free training that you can watch. It's around 30 minutes and it's a 5-step process. And you'll find that really helpful in especially creating the plan and the strategy. Now, one of the things that I teach my clients in my programs and in my courses, that in order for a coaching business, whether it's a side business or a full-time business, in order for this business to be successful, and again, this is something that I had to learn the hard way because initially I was not doing that. But one of the first things that has to happen is for you to really understand your niche and exactly who you are trying to help and what problem you're trying to help them solve. This is what we call niche selection. And if you want to learn more about that, then I'll refer you to this video over here where I talk to you about all the reasons why niching down is so important and how to start doing that. So this is one of the most important steps that you need to start doing in your business. I didn't do that for the first year and a half in my business, and I was talking to everyone. And if you've been watching me for any amount of time, you know the story, how the story goes. When you talk to everyone, you end up talking to no one. So I really recommend you go watch that video. I hope you enjoyed today's video. It's a bit longer than my usual ones, but I really wanted to go deep into this one to make you understand that it doesn't have to be either a full-time job and a steady income, or I'll follow my dream and I have no idea where I'm going. You can actually do both at the same time if you are focused and if you are strategic and if you're willing to give this dream what it needs and what it wants from you. I'd love to hear how today's video specifically resonated with you. So let me know in the comments, and I'll see you next Tuesday.